Hey guys, I'm Flo. With this recipe for the classic Nigerian wedding cake, I'll be taking you on a time machine. Back in the 1980s and 90s, this was the cake we used for wedding cakes in Nigeria. You know, those days when wedding cakes had multi-stories with stilts, stairs, ladders, balconies. When royal icing was the in thing in cake decoration, this was the cake you would find under that royal icing. It's still being used as wedding cakes these days, just that now there are so many other options that people use for their wedding cakes. I loved tagging along with my parents to Nigerian weddings in those days just because of this cake. Oh, sir! I wonder how many people watching were old enough to appreciate this cake then. If you ate this cake at weddings back then, let me know in the comments. This cake is great for any celebration, not just weddings. It's moist, tasty, and I don't know, try it and see for yourself. I can't adequately describe this cake. I'll be using it as my Christmas cake for this year. You should make it too. I used it for my daughter's birthday cake. Her birthday was on the 21st of November. At the end of this video, I'll show how I decorated her cake. Very simple and easy decoration, and she loved it. We'll need corn flour or cornstarch, plain flour. I'm using brown sugar because it takes the taste of this cake to another level. Normally, granulated sugar is used. We'll need pig-filled evaporated milk. This cake is a fusion of flavors, and pig milk's unique creamy flavor works well with the other flavors in this cake. Browning, vanilla flavor, butterscotch flavor, lemon juice, eggs. The eggs should be at room temperature, so bring them out from the fridge in good time before you start mixing. The same with the butter, it should be at room temperature. And baking powder. Making this cake is so easy. First, we mix the pig milk with the lemon juice and set that aside. Then in a bowl, mix the plain flour, the corn flour, and the baking powder. Please note that this corn flour is very fine like face powder. It's not the coarse corn flour we use in making alebo or gnocchi. Set that aside. Prepare the baking pan. I do that by simply rubbing butter all over the inside of the pan. Pour some flour and spread it till it covers the butter. Then place a parchment paper inside it like this. Cream these 4 ingredients together till they are well combined. We want this cake to have a coarse, dense texture, so you need to cream for a short time, just about 1 minute. Add the eggs 2 at a time, so you add 2, mix till well combined, and add the next 2, and so on. Add the milk and lemon combo. Sift the flour, corn flour, and baking powder mixture. and fold with a wooden spoon or spatula till well combined. Add the browning, mix well and pour into the cake pan. Then bake in a preheated oven at 170 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes. The cake is done when a wooden skewer inserted into it comes out clean. Place it on a rack for about 5 minutes, then remove the pan and turn the cake upside down. And leave it to cool down completely. When the cake has cooled down completely, scrape off the dry parts, or in some cases, the burnt part at the bottom. Cut off the dome and set that aside. For my daughter's birthday cake, I used cheese and butter frosting. To be honest, I do not measure this. I start by creaming cheese and icing sugar. When I get the consistency I want, I stop and add butter. Cream till everything is well combined. You can add more icing sugar at any time if you want it thicker. Spread the cheese and butter frosting all over the cake till it is well covered. Make sure you do a better job than I did, okay? I am by no means a cake decorator, so don't learn cake decoration from me. I'm just sharing how I achieved my daughter's cake design, if I can call it that. This one is a lazy cake design. Crush the bits from the dome to get cake crumbs, and while the frosting is still soft, spread the cake crumbs on it so that they will stick to the cake. I do the sides first. Before doing the top, I placed this Mickey Mouse stencil at the center. She said she wanted a Mickey Mouse cake. Then continue with spreading the crumbs. I cut the stencil from a parchment paper. When done, clean up and remove the stencil. Add Mickey Mouse eyes and that's it! You can take it a step further by adding the nose and the mouth. I hope you prepare this cake and send me a feedback. Bye! See you soon!